What if I told you the Wirral had its own mountain range? Well, more like ridges, but today I'm on a mission to find the highest point, and I'm starting it right here at sea level. So I'm here at New Brighton at a low tide, and this is probably the lowest we've ever been on this channel. So it seems that one of the closest points to Liverpool is actually the lowest point. Now the prom itself is actually about 5 metres above where I am now. So here I'll be heading inland, climbing steadily, hill by hill, tower by tower, eventually reaching the peak of the peninsula. And let's start here at this church. And here is that church, the Church of St Paul, St Peter and St Philomena, here, and just by the Gorse Hill water tower. Now, the top of the church is actually 85 metres above sea level, but it's only 50 at the ground. It does look visually quite high here, with the steep climb to get here. Now we're getting somewhere. At 60 metres above sea level, Bidston Observatory and Lighthouse is being one of the most inland lighthouses in the country. But here at the windmill, it's 68 metres at the bottom and a further 12 to the top. Next up, on the same ridge, is Prenton Water Tower. Not exactly scenic, but right now we're 80 metres on the ground and about 90 metres up to the top of the tower from where we started in New Brighton. Local reservoirs like this one are built on the hill to give sufficient water pressure to everybody in the local area, and perhaps gives the pigeons somewhere scenic and dramatic to look out from, and very visible in the rest of Prenton down the hill. Right, let's carry on. Let's see where else we can find that's even higher than this one. So here we are at Storeton Woods, peaceful and surprisingly elevated. Now Storeton Woods actually has a lot more history associated with it, including a narrow gauge railway which took the sandstone from here to the railway at Port Sunlight station. And going further back than that, there's even fossils that were found here. Now you can actually see these fossils in the museum over at Hilbury Island. Now we've covered all of that information on a video with the Friends of Hilbury Island when we went over there a few years ago. But if you were here in Storeton, you can actually see a dinosaur itself. Now we've not yet reached the highest peak here on the peninsula. You may think it is, but maybe the top of this television mast, which is here at Storeton, is the peak. Now we're not counting that, as you can't actually stand on it. But here in Storeton, we've got a long way to go still. Off to the Wirral's second ridge now, here at West Kirby, where the War Memorial gives some spectacular views across the River Dee, a place to remember the fallen. On a clear day, you can see the Welsh hills from here, though at this height you might also spot your house if you've got good binoculars. But we are back down at 60 metres here. That's surprising as it looks quite high up. Thurstaston Hill is where things start to get really rural. This ancient sandstone ridge that gives you amazing panoramic views of Wales, the Wirral and of Liverpool. But this is the highest point we've been so far, because here we're at 90 metres. This ridge has been here since the Ice Age and hasn't moved an inch. Unlike me. Now you've made it this far, the highest point so far, 90 metres, but we're not quite there yet, but our next destination will be. So here we are, 110 metres above sea level. This is Pole Hill Road in Heswall. Now it's not quite Everest, but we didn't need crampons to get here. But the actual highest point is just up this path. Now this is it, the highest point on the Wirral Peninsula. This is the highest tree, the highest bench and the highest path. So here we're at 110 metres above sea level. Now the television mast up here is 137 metres above. Now do you remember the mast that we saw at Storeton earlier on? Well, that TV mast would actually be at ground level at the top where we are here. Now surprisingly, the earth actually curves and drops 140 feet, that's 42 metres in the 15 miles of the entire length of the peninsula. Now you can actually see a demonstration of the earth's curvature when we go to see Blackpool Tower from Hoylake. Now the actual view from the highest point, so you are just surrounded by trees, but from Pole Hill Road you can see right over to Liverpool and to Wales and the Moley Park television mast. So there you have it, from sea level to the summit. Now the Wirral may seem comparatively flat compared to the lakes or the Himalayas, but when you climb it slowly, it feels like an adventure all the same.